Man, this is like that time something almost happened when I was on a walk.
Man, what a beautiful day. The ocean waves are crashing. I got a long walk by myself. I feel like something should happen right about now. Oh, fuck.
What's up, guys? I hope you appreciated the cutaway gag I just did. Anyway, let's get into today's topic. And we're going to be talking about this super chud. Now, he's not any normal chud. He's also a weeaboo. And I've drawn a lot of comparisons to Leafy, so I'm not going to tell you that he looks like a pedophile and is over 30 years old and put a massive emphasis on that and also hide my chin. I'm going to tell you he is a pedophile, he is also 30 years old, and I'll show my chin. How about that? But yeah, no, this guy's a fucking loser, and he actively defends Lolly tooth and nail. It's absurd. You might have heard of this guy before. His name is Chibi Reviews, and he has never touched grass in his life. And don't get me wrong, I like anime, but he's the reason I can't like anime openly. This guy is the reason.
I want to catch a lot of heat for this video and probably receive hundreds of thousands of death threats for even making a video discussing lollies and even trying to defend lollies, but
as a fully grown adult, how the fuck are you convincing yourself it's okay to die on this hill? If somebody makes a death threat towards me, even over something that I know is subjective, I'm still gonna reconsider my opinion on it. But yet, for some reason, you're dying on this hill. It's disgusting.
We're going to get right into it because I've already faced death threats, I've already faced slander, false accusations, people doxing me, sending me stuff in the mail, all sorts of horrific stuff for my stances on fictional content.
Wow, you're really vague with what fictional content you're talking about here. Are you forgetting that it's about fictional children? Is that the part you're forgetting?
So, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to bow down and bend the knee. I'm going to just straight up get into what needs to be said. And so this is a post that crossed my feed today by Real Schlep. Now, you might not know who this is, but there is a very high chance you do. This individual is someone that is very well known for being a pred catcher. They are someone that makes their entire channel around catching predators on Roblox and different forms of the internet, as you can see here.
Yeah, so he'll go on to Glaze, Slep, and his numbers and say that he's a drop in the bucket compared to him, and honestly, W Glaze. It's the only good decision he'll make during the rest of this video.
However, what really shocks me is that an individual that has their entire career based around being a predator catcher is someone that cannot separate fiction from reality. That is what really blew me away when I saw this post today, and the amount of damage that this post and this individual is going to cause to actual real people and victims out there and allow criminals to actually get away.
I'm not sure why you're choosing to die on this hill. It's pretty obvious that he's able to separate fantasy and reality. He's drawing correlations between the two. That's what he's calling out here. He's calling out people that do weird things and saying that they're more likely to do weird things to the people they fantasize about. That's not a crazy correlation that has never happened before. And if anything, it's extremely common.
He also responded to me twice before I even uploaded this video, and instead of even countering the points I made, he decided to go straight into slandering me, bringing up my personal life that's completely irrelevant to the topic at hand, and basically shifting the subject matter away from the topic to kind of muddy the waters, and basically try to make my points seem kind of invalid when he's not even addressing my points to begin with.
You're one to talk about muddying the waters. Are you fucking serious, dude? You muddy the waters all the time. Whenever you talk about someone being censored for making lolly, you only refer to it as fictional art. You don't actually refer to it as what it is because you're trying to gain sympathy from the viewers. You repeatedly do this, so you have no ground to stand upon when accusing somebody of muddying the waters. Also, your points were dog shit, dude.
So I think more or less the case is closed, that this man right here actually doesn't care about victims and people. He's more or less just wanting brownie points, making a profit off of people, and that's about it. So this is pretty, it says a lot about his character, honestly, just seeing these type of posts from him.
Talk about muddying the waters, am I right? You, for some reason, accused him of muddying the waters because he tried character assassination, and then you did the exact same thing. Like, you can't go 3 seconds without trying to insult him. It's so fucking funny, dude. You're not actually saying points or bringing up arguments for your points. You're just saying a bunch of buzzwords, hoping that the audience is like, well, I care about victims. Slep doesn't care about victims. I care about victims. It's so fucking stupid.
And so let's just get right into this. So first off, let's address the elephant in the room, which is what Schlepp is talking about. He's talking about how lollies are basically, if you like lollies, you defend lollies, you're a PDF. That's what he is pretty much saying in this post. And what's very interesting about this post, by the way, with him trying to compare the two of fictional content that's a drawing on a piece of paper or an animated pixel, he actually edited his post here, which Packer Girl showcases a screenshot, and I'll showcase this as legit in a second. But basically, you can see his original post here, you know, he actually has anime in front of it, showcasing what he's actually talking about. Then he quickly edited his post to remove it to make it seem more extreme than it actually is. And I don't think I need to really explain why this is bad, but it obviously is very disingenuous in trying to basically make a molehill into a mountain, or trying to make something look worse than it actually is.
He's going on and on about Schlepp editing the tweet, and honestly, I could give less of a fuck about that. But he did try throwing out this point saying, oh, well, it's fake, it's a drawing, it's not real. But that doesn't matter in this case, because what it's depicting resembles somebody who is extremely vulnerable. It is resembling a victim. It's literally a drawing of a child. That's what it is. Even if it's not real, it doesn't matter. It's still a child, and it's turning people on. It's sexualizing children. Whether it's real or not does not matter. It's still a disgusting practice, and for some reason, you don't want to accept that. You don't want to even encounter that point. You would rather talk about Schlepp editing his tweets than actually talking about what you're defending.
Pretty much saying that, basically, nobody would care if it was a drawing, but the fact that he removed that wording of anime from it, it makes people tune in more to what he's saying and believe what he's saying is actually talking about real victims and real people that are actually getting harmed.
You're really trying to go for this whole, like, oh, he just wants to target anime fans and he really just wants to hate us, but there's a good reason of why he does not like you and like what you guys do. But for some reason, you're not actually trying to do a deep dive into that or, like, debunk any of his points. You're just harping on and on about the fucking edit. Maybe pick one of the tweets and try and debunk it. But you're not doing that, dude. You're just harping on the fucking edit. It's so frustrating to listen to.
Worse than it actually is. So this is actually insane. And this gets into the topic of what I just talked about. That it's really horrible that someone that dedicates their entire career and like presence online to actually go after criminals would actually compare a drawing to actually real victims. That's what's so disrespectful. And let me explain why this is a problem.
Fucking finally, dude. You've spent like the entire video harping about some fucking edited tweet, but you haven't made any real arguments. Please tell me a good argument, or at least one that I can try and debunk that isn't just, well, it's fictional, bro, it's fictional.
So, first off, you are a police officer in, you know, the office at the county sheriff office or whatever, and you only have a certain amount of officers. Let's say there's 30 or 50 officers within the police office. You receive a call that apparently someone is harming someone, and you take this call, you take it very seriously because it's your job. So you go and investigate, and when you go and investigate whatever's going on, you come to find out it's actually just a drawing. It's a pixel on the screen. It's nothing. There's nobody being hurt, no victims, nothing. It is just entirely a drawing on the screen. And I don't think I really need to outline why this is a problem, but all this does is it stalls police from being able to actually catch real criminals and help victims be able to recover. It really just actually overloads the system, and it causes a limited amount of resources to be used for false calls.
You know, at least you have an argument instead of just harping about tweets, even though it's a very bad argument. Let me explain why. The police aren't just there to arrest the criminals after they have done a crime. They're also there to prevent crime, and there is a very close correlation between fantasizing about children and real-life pedophilia that has real victims. But for some reason, you don't want to accept that someone who fantasizes about children would also then do something horrific to a child. This happens all the time, and you can see it in mass shootings and school shootings. The killers will very often fantasize about the actions they're going to do. They'll glamorize it. They'll post about it on social media. You've seen this time and time again. But for some reason, you just won't accept this. You don't get it through your head that there is a correlation between the two.
That's pretty much what happens in this case with people that can't separate fiction from reality. And so the fact that you have someone like Schlepp that his entire career is to try to bring people to justice, willing to water down a term and actually cause it to be hard harder to catch real PDFs is actually insane to me. Now, I do want to talk about something that does need to be acknowledged, and that is lolly in general. Now, look, I'm just going to outright say it. If you find lollies and stuff weird, completely fine. I think there is nothing wrong with someone thinking it's weird, bizarre, whatever. You don't want to associate with people like that. Fine. That's completely fine. It's well within your rights.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Lolly's weird, and it always has been and always will be. People that like it are disgusting.
To do that. However, you cross a line when you start calling people accusations that aren't true. For instance, you calling them a PDF, or you start comparing a drawing or a pixel to an actual living, breathing human.
Okay, you're still harping on this point about fiction and reality, but at what point do we put a line in the sand and say, hey, sexualizing children at all is disgusting? Even if it is fictional and fantasy, it is still disgusting.
There is a very hard line there that is crossed when someone does that. And all it does is water things down and makes the entire conversation very muddy, to where now when you have a conversation around stuff like this, like if someone's a PDF or not, what it comes down to is like, are they talking about a real person or are they talking about a drawing?
Either way, they are a pervert and a disgusting human being that is a waste of air. You don't understand that for some reason, that you're sexualizing children in both options. Even though one is victimless, it doesn't excuse the fact that you're still going to be a pedophile.
And when you have something like this brought up into a conversation, it's already bad. And it's happening. It is something that has definitely grown exponentially in the last 5 to 6 years, to where the conversation around this entire topic has been muddied and just tampered with to the point to where people don't take it as seriously anymore, because people cannot separate fiction from reality.
Yeah, I'm just going to cut him off there. He goes on to make the same point after point after point after point after point, making the same argument over and over and over again that it's not real, it's fictional, and it's okay to sexualize children if it's fantasy, which is not okay. And I've already said that multiple times in this video, so this is where I'm probably going to end up ending it. If you want to see a part 2 of me going through more of his clips, debunking what he says, showing that he's just a straight-up pedophile, it's disgusting, but I'm willing to do it if you guys want to watch that. But anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. Peace.